Betrayal affects everyone, but it hits INFPs particularly hard. As idealistic and sensitive personalities, INFPs often feel betrayal not just as a broken promise, but because it causes deep wounds in their hearts, especially as it insults their core values. The path to healing for INFPs isn't always straight, as everyone has unique ways to recover, but all INFPs need to follow some practical tips to heal completely. Today, let's dive into some tips and a practical guide for INFPs to heal from betrayal. Start with acceptance. The biggest mistake INFPs make after betrayal is thinking they need to understand why it happened. They spend endless hours trying to figure out the other reasons. They replay conversations in their minds, looking for clues they might have missed. This obsession with finding answers keeps them stuck in the pain. Here's the truth INFPs need to accept: you don't need to understand why someone betrayed you to heal from it. Sometimes, people hurt others for reasons that make no sense. Sometimes, there is no good reason at all. Waiting for answers that may never come only prolongs your suffering. Accepting that people are complex and flawed doesn't mean you are excusing hurtful behavior. Rather, it means that you understand that others may not share the same values or perception of events, and in time, it will help you process your feelings without being consumed by them. INFPs should know that the tendency to overthink or dismiss feelings as too much only pushes pain deeper. Instead, recognizing and naming emotions helps reduce the hurt. For example, saying "I feel hurt" or "I feel angry" out loud rather than internalizing the hurt and anger can be surprisingly effective in beginning the healing process. Self-compassion. Self-compassion plays a huge role in healing from betrayal. INFPs often blame themselves for not seeing the signs or trusting the wrong person. This self-criticism keeps you trapped in the past. Instead of beating yourself up for being trusting, recognize that your ability to see good in people is a strength. The problem wasn't that you trusted, the problem was that someone chose to abuse that trust. So now, learn not to blame yourself if you feel guilty about the experience. Forgive yourself and others, and do positive self-talk and affirmations to change the pessimistic mindset. Set boundaries. This is another equally important thing you should start doing if you plan to heal from betrayal. Most INFPs struggle with setting clear boundaries because they always avoid conflict and are people-pleasing. However, healthy boundaries can protect anyone and prevent future hurt and betrayal. Setting boundaries involves communicating your needs without fear or favor, learning not to overcommit, creating a safe space to maintain your inner peace, and not letting anyone disrupt it. These prevent future betrayals and build one's confidence and judgment. Setting clear boundaries becomes much easier once you accept the reality of the situation. INFPs often struggle with boundaries because they want to give people second chances. They hope the person who hurt them will change or apologize properly. But boundaries aren't about punishment, they're about protection. You can forgive someone and still limit their access to your life. Connect with others. Many INFPs also make the mistake of isolating themselves after betrayal. They withdraw from other relationships because they're afraid of being hurt again. This isolation only makes the healing process longer and more difficult. While it's normal to need some space after being injured, completely shutting out other people prevents you from experiencing the good relationships that can help restore your faith in others. Moving forward after a betrayal requires building new connections while being smart about who you trust. This doesn't mean becoming suspicious of everyone, but paying attention to people's actions rather than words. Trust should be earned gradually, not freely, just because someone asks for it. Build your life. Finally, healing requires you to build a life that doesn't revolve around the person who hurt you. Now, you have to create new and beautiful experiences. Start pursuing your interests and goals, and invest in relationships that add value to your life. The goal isn't to forget what happened, to ensure that one person's bad choice doesn't define your future. Betrayal will always hurt INFPs deeply because they value authentic connections. But the pain doesn't have to last forever. When you stop trying to solve the mystery of why someone hurt you and start focusing on how to move forward, you permit yourself to heal. The answers you seek may never come, but your peace doesn't depend on them. Your healing is in your hands, not in someone else's explanations.